All right, now, who did this? I'd like to know who did this. Who put this in front of my driveway here? That's just wrong. That is so wrong that they did that. Just wrong.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times. In those files, there's highly disturbing allegations of Donald Trump raping children, of Donald Trump threatening to kill children.
That's a lie. That is a blatant lie, and he's lying on national TV in front of everybody. You know, he ought to step down and resign in disgrace for doing that, lying on the President of the United States like that. Okay? Okay? And people want to go after members of the press who talked about Joe Biden's cognitive decline and the suspicion that he pooped his pants. But this freaking idiot, this Congressman Ted Lieu, he could just lie through his rat chopper teeth about Donald Trump being on the Epstein files. Shame on him. Shame. When someone tells you who they are, believe them. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And Ted Lieu is a liar. Ted Lieu is good pals with Ed Buck. Ed Buck was a major contributor to the Democratic Party, Democrat candidates, and he's also in jail for multiple rapes and murders of men. Ed Buck would lure homeless men into his house, offer them a shower, something to eat, right? A lot of them were downtrodden, so they turned to drugs. So he'd offer them stronger drugs like methamphetamine, GHB, and he'd be terminating fuckers with that GHB. And he would drug them up, restrain them, rape them, drug them up some more until they overdosed and died, and he would necrophile them before the bodies turned cold, discard the bodies. He got caught, and as of right now, Ed Buck is in jail. Ted Lieu's pal. Okay, now, another major contributor to the Democrats was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was more of a Clinton guy than a Trump guy. There is no connection between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein other than them competing for a property in Florida that Donald Trump ended up getting, and Donald Trump kicking Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. Pure and simple. It's not Donald Trump that's the sicko sexual deviant. It's not Donald Trump that's the disgusting sexual deviant. It's the Democrats. I got some notes here. I got some notes here. It's a list of names I've mentioned before and some of the things they've done. Okay. We could take it all the way back to 1988, where it gets discovered that Gary Hart had an affair with a model named Donna Rice. Okay. We could talk about that other sicko, former governor of New Jersey, Jim McGreevey, who had an affair with a man named Golan Sipple. And Golan Sipple was going to blow the whistle on him, no pun intended. And so he hires Golan Sipple as an intern. And he's still threatening him. Still threatening to out him. So he starts paying him hush money while he's employed as an intern. And they rekindle their affair, and he's still threatening to blow the whistle. And now people are starting to investigate without Golan Sipple blowing the whistle. And Jim McGreevey decides to pull the ripcord, resign, announce that he's a gay American. This way, if anybody goes to expose this financial scandal with New Jersey taxpayer dollars, he could turn around and say, but I am a gay American. You're picking on me because I'm gay. See where that rolls in? Identity politics at its finest as far back as the early 2000s. Then we had a governor here in New York named Elliot Spitzer. And he frequented a particular brothel, seeing a particular prostitute who was worth, in my opinion, no more than a White Castle date. I mean, hey, you know, I'm a red-blooded man. I see someone that looks like that, yeah, I'd smash, but I wouldn't give her no more than a White Castle date. I would be like, hey, I treated you to White Castle. What the hell you want? I wouldn't be spending tens of thousands of dollars. And I certainly wouldn't funnel it with New York taxpayer money. He got caught out there, and this is while he was shutting down brothels that were connected in some way to Joe Bruno, another corrupt SOB. And, yeah, it was Joe Bruno made some phone calls, got Spitzer investigated. It came out that he was frequenting a competing brothel. So he had to step down. And there was a little place marker there, a blind man by the name of David Patterson, a total do-nothing of a governor, and he was just holding place there till Andrew Cuomo got elected. And what happened with Andrew Cuomo? I mean, besides the whole COVID situation, which he did not handle that well at all, people died because of him, thousands, tens of thousands died because of him. But besides that, from the moment he took office till the moment he had to step down and resign, Andrew Cuomo was groping female staff. Just groping them. So he had to step down. Al Franken, the former SNL personality, turned senator. Same thing with him. His entire tenure as a senator, groping the female staff. He had to step down. Oh, here's a real winner, or a wiener, shall we say, Anthony Weiner, former congressman from New York, the man who would almost become mayor. He had a shot at becoming mayor in 2009. Decides not to run. It would have been his second bid for City Hall. He decides step down And if it came down to him and Bloomberg, because his rep was still clean at the time, he would have became mayor. He had a fighting chance, but he bailed out of the race like a coward. He starts sexting girls with his cell phone, gets caught, steps down, and then as a former congressman, he sends a dick pic to a 14-year-old girl. Gets arrested. His wife files for divorce. George Soros' son is banging her now. And what became of Anthony Weiner? Well, he eventually did his time, got released. But he has to spend the rest of his life as a registered sex offender. Yes, a Democrat, Anthony Weiner, registered sex offender. I'm leaving some of these out. I forgot some of these. I forgot to put some of these people in Congress in my notes. West Coast, of course. But as you heard from what I said about Spitzer, Cuomo, and Weiner, we got some of our doozies here on the East Coast. Okay, former President Joe Biden. It comes out in 2020 that in 1993, he forcefully fingered an intern named Tara Reid. Tara Reid fled the country, lives in Russia, because she feels safer there where the Bidens can't find her and kill her. Interesting stuff here, isn't it? Interesting stuff. All right, we're keeping it on the East Coast. Pennsylvania, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, the famous Gettysburg, where Lincoln gave his famous Gettysburg speech. They had a mayor, Chad Allen Carr. He was mayor for about 4 months. He steps down due to some sex scandal. And then the plot thickens. They find kiddie porn on his laptop, I think. And then they find pictures of a 16-year-old boy on his phone. Because apparently he was a counselor to this 16-year-old boy. They were talking back and forth. He managed to convince this 16-year-old boy to send him nudes. As we speak, he sits in jail. Oh, man. Oh, man. Lest we forget about Eric Swalwell. He would have been front runner for California governor. But what happens? He decides to manhandle a hooker with the cameras rolling. Knowing the camera's rolling, he doesn't care. He's groping and manhandling this hooker, and she's pushing him away, and he's being a real dick towards her. The fact that he's even with a hooker, excuse me, the fact that he's even with a hooker should be bad enough. And guess what? The list goes on here. The list goes on. And what the hell have we here? Some controversy around Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, man who was almost vice president, which would have made him a heartbeat away from being commander-in-chief. They called him the coach. They called him the cuddly coach, even. Apparently, he got a little bit too cuddly with one of the people he was coaching. They're claiming he had sexual relations with a 14-year-old boy. And who's saying this? The adult who was that 14-year-old boy. And lest we forget, a guy running for Senate, Graham Platner. Some say Planter, some say Platner. let's call the whole thing off. But anyway, the Totenkopf tatted Nepo baby oyster farmer is plagued with controversy surrounding sexting. Lots and lots of sexting. All types of explicit texts to a multitude of women. Not one, his wife. Can't stand cheating assholes. I really can't. It makes me want to shoot them with my laser beam eyes. Okay. And now we move on because the women get equal time. Or do they? Sarah McBride. Okay. But here's the kicker with Sarah McBride. She was formerly Tim McBride. She's now a Delaware representative in the U.S. House of Representatives. But as Tim McBride, he, I should really say, is plagued with controversy, plagued with scandals that do not rule out the possibility that Tim McBride may have had sexual relations with single-aged children. Okay? So, they're talking about Trump, Epstein this, Epstein that. Epstein hung out with the Clintons more often than Trump. Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. Democrats still continue to hang out with him. Hakeem Jeffries used to go to Jeffrey Epstein with hat in hand, begging for money after Donald Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. After Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of sex crimes with minors. And they want to go after Donald Trump. Donald Trump is as far removed from Jeffrey Epstein as I am. Okay? And the age range of Donald Trump's body count, that's as in females he's had sex with, that age range is the same as my body count. Okay? This is why I say Donald Trump and I are one and the same when it comes to these things. So the bottom line is, when I say treat me like I'm Donald Trump, it means treat me like I'm Donald Trump. Whatever you would do if you had Donald Trump backed into a corner with a knife in your hand, so be it. You know? But, you know, Donald Trump has Secret Service. I don't. Whatever you would do to Donald Trump if you had him backed in a corner with a baseball bat in your hand, so be it. Donald Trump has Secret Service and I don't. You know, I don't have the budget for a security detail. But I do have the boldness to tell you the truth. And the truth is, the Democrats are disgusting sexual deviants. The Democrats are the party of disgusting sexual deviants. So many levels of hell where belong the left. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Like, follow, share, comment, subscribe. Stay strong. Keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building, supreme ruler of all hip-hop culture. And there's nothing you could do about it. MC Too Tall. Now don't be gross.